All right, so before we get started today, I want to call the winner of the Super Clean giveaway. In my last video, I asked you guys to leave a comment down below, and Super Clean was going to give away some Super Clean to a lucky subscriber. Now, I picked a comment at random, and the winner is Ray Carey. You are the winner of the Super Clean. And he commented, currently building / restoring a 1989 Firebird GTA with 80,000 miles. I have a video of it on my page. Your Trans Am videos have helped me a lot. Keep them coming. Glad I can help Ray. I'm actually going to put a link to his channel down in the description if you want to go check it out. And yeah, I'm going to get in contact with you, and Super Clean is going to send you some Super Clean. All right, so where we last left off, I was working on my 2008 Saturn Astra. We did a valve cover gasket, stabilizer bar links, kind of general maintenance on that car. And then I went MIA for like a month and haven't uploaded. I kind of been busy, unfortunately not with the Trans Am. I haven't touched this car, but that's because I have something else that has once again taken priority over this, that being Tahiti, my 2004 Chevy Tahoe. Now, over the past few months, she started making this weird noise. I haven't been driving it because the noise is getting louder and louder. It sounds like a drivetrain noise, like a bearing noise, pinion bearing, wheel bearing, something like that from the rear of the truck. The weird thing is when you put it on jack stands, you run through the gears, the noise gets like way louder as soon as it shifts to second gear, which led me to believe it's possibly something in the transmission. So I kind of condemned it and just let it sit outside for like 2 months. But today we're going to finally dive into that. Some of you guys commented because I did post a little video of the noise as a short. You said it's probably not something in the transmission. It sounds like it's something coming from the rear end, and the noise is coming from the rear end. It's just weird how it gets really loud when the transmission shifts. However, today we are going to break into the rear. We're going to inspect all the bearings. Maybe it's a pinion bearing, something simple. At the same time, I have some new backing plates around here somewhere that I'm going to be installing, because our backing plates for the rear parking brake are completely gone and rotted out. I got some OEM ones here. They're not the split style, so you do have to pull the axle tubes out to get these on. Figured it didn't matter because I got to pull the rear end apart anyway, so we'll pop these on, and at least we'll get that fixed even if the noise doesn't go away. So first of all, check this out. I finally got the adapters for the quick jack so I can actually lift the Tahoe with this thing. I had to put them sideways because the way the frame goes, you can see it starts out here and then it kind of narrows in towards the front, and the quick jacks have to be like perfectly parallel with each other, otherwise they bind up and they act weird when you try to lower them on the jacks. You can put them this way. Quick jack does say you can actually put them sideways like this. So I'm just gonna set you guys up right here. I'm gonna go start her up, put her in drive, and you can hear the noise. You'll be able to hear it pretty easily. Yeah, I have never actually pulled the, checked the diff on this thing. Like, I've checked the fluid, and when it started making the noise, I just pulled the fill plug out, and I just checked the fluid. Like, it didn't look like it had like metal or anything in it. Granted, that was like when the noise first started, when it was very low. And that joint feels fine. No binding or anything. I mean, that feels kind of all right too. It's definitely not loose. Maybe there's a little more backlash than usual, or than there's supposed to be, but I mean, this stupid thing has like 250,000 miles on it, so let's get the cover off. If only I could... maybe I can sit up under here. Oh, yeah. Much better. We'll see if we could crack her open. Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't look not the worst looking fluid. It's dark, but it's still got that. Still looks like diff fluid. It's got that greenish tint to it. I'm seeing some swirly swirl, but I mean, it's pretty normal, especially for a truck with this mileage. Let's get the bolt out. Let's see what we're dealing with in here, huh? Corey tells it's gonna be a pain in the ass. I'm probably gonna have to pull this. Man, I don't know. Like, there's metal on the magnet, but once again, that's really not abnormal. Like I said, I've never pulled this thing apart. I don't really see any big flakes on it. The teeth look good. Nice even wear pattern on them. I mean, nothing abnormal to me. I don't even know what kind of witchcraft is going on there with this G80 diff, how it locks up and everything, but she does still spin both wheels, so I am not putting any kind of diff in this thing. This is just going to be a pure budget fix, assuming the problem is even in here. All right, so nothing looks out of the ordinary. I mean, there is some metal on the magnet, but for the mileage of this thing and the fact that it even still has, it doesn't even have an RTV on it. It looks like it has the, yeah, it still has like the rubber paper original gasket on the diff cover. I don't think this thing was ever cracked open. Does somebody go in there and maybe extract the fluid and swap it out at some point? Maybe, but I mean, if this is the original fluid, that is not bad at all. And for the noise this thing started making, I mean, I would think I'd be seeing so much more metal in here. I don't know. We'll pull the stabilizer bar out. We'll pull the Panhard bar here out. We'll get the diff out of the pumpkin, and we'll inspect all the bearings, see if anything sticks out. But I don't know if what I'm looking for is actually going to be in here as far as the noise goes. God. Come on. Oh my God. Oh, she doesn't need rear brakes for once. Every time I pull the rear end of this thing apart, it always like eats through the rear brakes. Finally, it looks like they're actually doing pretty good. Maybe because I went with that towing kit. Ooh, look at that. There's like no backing plate left. What do you know? Little tip for anybody who might not know. Use the yellow cans, they're MAP gas. The blue cans, which are propane, burn at a lower temperature, so you'll be here for years waiting for that bolt to heat up, whereas the MAP gas heats it up way quicker. Come on, there we go. Get you in there. You should slide off. Oh, look at that. We actually have a little bit of backing plate left on this side. A little bit just hanging on there. All right, so now that I have the brakes off, I'm just gonna spin this over so I could get to the little 8mm bolt so I can take the pin out. That'll let me slip the axles in and take the C-clips out so we can remove the axles. Oh, God. All right, well, there's our problem. Wow, that feels like absolute shit. You know, the gears don't look bad. Most likely a bearing is probably shot. It's probably the pinion bearing. I'm looking for the little 8mm. There it is. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's an 8mm bolt right here. I'm just gonna pull this out. And then that's gonna allow me. Let me get a 6-point before I freaking strip it. Have you ever heard that before? Let me get a 6-point before I strip it. There it is. So now we can pull out this pass-through bolt here. That goes through the pin, and then that pin can slide right out. Okay. Just put it up here so you guys can see it. All right, so there's our pin. Now that's done, I'm going to spin it back around so I can see the open end. That's the end of the axle. So you'll see I'm going to kick it in with my foot, just push it inward. That slides in, and then that ring right there, I'm going to need a magnet to get that out, or like needle nose. That's the C-clip. That's what actually keeps the axle from falling out. As you see, if I push it back out, it stops there. So that clip sits in a groove on the end of the axle, and then that pin I just pulled out sits right in between these two on the other side, and that's what keeps them from going in and dropping those clips. Okay, that's the passenger side. There we go, and the driver's side. And there's our prize. I mean, that's all it is. So that sits in there. This clip just loosely just kind of slips right over that. And I'll tie that up and I think we'll be good. Now when this comes out, for anybody who might be following along at home, doing or planning on doing this job, you want to make sure you keep these caps on the sides they came out, so just mark them passenger side, driver side, and the orientation they were. And then when this comes out, there's going to be 2 shims in here. I believe they're going to be, yeah, it's not aftermarket, so it's going to have 2 solid shims. You want to make sure you put those back in the exact same spot that they came out of. Wow, that actually came out really easily. Usually you gotta pry these babies out. Ugh. All right, let's get this girl down here. Keep track of everything. I can't even turn it. Oh my God, yeah. There's your problem. Oh man. Oh yeah. She is crunchy, crunchy, crunchy. All right, I'm happy about that. There we go. Pinion just falls right out. And there we go. Do I see anything sus? Oh, you know what? The bearing isn't even really worn. Like, there's no metal at all. Like, the races look good. The only thing I'm noticing, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this. The cage, in a couple of spots, it's dented. And who knows, that could have been from me when I pulled the, I mean, all I did on this thing was a pinion seal, like a few years ago. But I mean, I don't know what else would cause that. Now, in addition to backing plates, I also went and picked up some replacement parking brake cables. I noticed the driver's side is looking a little sketchy, so I figured, why not just throw a pair on here? You can see it's starting to, well, it is split open right here. And that thing is probably just completely rusted solid. Parking brake doesn't do much, so. I guess it goes under. Who knows? Just clip this guy in. Take our star wheel, put a little grease on that, slip that guy right in there. And then the other side of this has this little stupid pin that sits in between the cylinder, like right inside there. So when you hit the brake, the lever moves this pin and it spreads these out. I don't know how well you can see that, but right there, there's like a little cup. You want to get that little pin sitting in there. A little tip to get that in there. We're just gonna fill this guy with grease. And then we'll stick the pin in the grease just so we can hold it, and then we can kind of line it up with that cup in there and just slide it in. That seems good. Yeah, and as you can see, as I push on one, well, can you really see? As I push on that one, this side moves out. Grab our horseshoe, slip it through the bottom there, flip her over, new retaining clip in there. Don't want to over tighten that because that is a tiny, tiny bolt. You know what, I think I'm gonna call this one here. We're gonna make this its own kind of video, just replacing the backing plates, because this is a common problem on these trucks and SUVs. Next video, we'll get the diff finished up. We'll take it for a test drive and we'll see if that noise went away.